Right, so well, after the old firm fallout, a lot's been going on online. It's just been a complete and utter disaster, every single account, and well, we're going to react to it in this video. There was a couple of clips I saw, and you saw as well. A lot of you have probably seen circling about fans outside Ibrox and fans speaking to Clement, speaking to, they were going absolutely mental.
Mellet just shouting at.
So we'll play the clips now.
Stop trying to shit, you're a fucking embarrassment. You're one of a fucking loser, mate. Team for many years.
This guy who is waiting to, hurl verbal abuse at Tavernier, in some sense, is speaking for the majority of the fan base, but you, as well as me, know that you have to have some civility about how you conduct yourself.
That's the thing, right?
There are certain ways to go about this, and for me personally, that's not it. And honestly, I think the majority of fans will feel the same way, as angry and frustrated, and as much as they want to voice their opinions, which they do have the right to do. For me, that's not the way you do it.
No, the thing is the annoying thing is as well. Like, I don't agree with the way it was done, but come from a standpoint of, if you just look at what he was saying, like every single bit of it was true.
Aye.
Every single bit of it was true, in my opinion. I mean, we've went through a period of time with the old guard, who, let's be honest, we've got really a lot of, but Celtic have won pretty much every single trophy available apart from the 55 season, and the odd cup that we've got, Scottish Cup, League Cup, but again, it's and even going to the Clement thing as well. I think in that clip somebody was talking about the amount of money that we spent on Edmondson House.
Yeah,
let's be honest, Clement didn't fucking spend it.
I know, I thought that was ridiculous, to be honest.
Clement didn't spend it, and I would ideally would all want better players, but at the end of the day, that's not down to Clement, that's down to the board. The board make the decisions, all the big financial decisions, and it brings me on to that kind of topic of like, who's to blame, you know what I mean, for the level of success we've had.
See the thing about Edmondson
years.
House, see if we were doing the business on the park and things were going well, it wouldn't be a problem.
No.
But it's just, really, that comment says to me, it's like, we are so frustrated, we don't even know. We can blame the manager, we can blame the captain, we can blame the starting 11, but we can also blame this new building that's been built.
Aye.
Because we don't know where to point our frustration, because we're so frustrated, and it feels like, whatever we're saying or thinking or feeling about this team, it's sort of no connecting with the manager or the players. And I think really the Old Firm game at the weekend really epitomises that, and shows again, just a whole lack of courage in this team, a whole lack of fight.
And the thing is, as well, like the main thing
quality.
is, it was almost the straw that broke the camel's back. It was the proof that all the fans needed, like, that this team are over since 55 have went backwards so much. Like the gap between Rangers and Celtic has, to me, not been this big since we were playing. We'd just come back up into the league. It's unbelievable how much I think that the team has went backwards in terms of poor recruitment decisions, in terms of poor decisions made in terms of backing an inexperienced manager, and with like say Van Bronckhorst in the door. No doubt Gerrard thought he wasn't being back to the extent that he wanted to be. Might have been a reason he left, but I mean, that's all kind of.
This is what we're looking at, a club right now that was only 4-5 years ago in the Europa League final.
I know.
And since then, we've seen players walk out the club free of charge, who were probably worth a couple of million at least at one point.
We've seen what?
We've seen
two trophies.
We've seen we've had
two
more
trophies.
managers
Aye.
probably than trophies. So we've seen a few trophies, a lot of failures, a revolving door when it comes to managers. We've seen situations that we've never seen before with the likes of Cantwell, the likes of
stadium.
Hadji, the stadium. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
So it really is just a big pile up of pure shite
Yeah, it's-
at Glasgow Rangers right now, to be honest.
We'll jump onto some of the comments we've seen in like say Twitter and YouTube as well. Adamsky says being a Rangers striker isn't about scoring lots of goals when it doesn't matter. It is about trust when it does. Every other fault today is still valid, but also still a symptom of this. And obviously we know exactly who he's talking about. And it's Cyril Dessers. And to me, we've said this for a while, and we've said it for a lot of players. Cantwell was one of the players as well, where it's alright scoring against Ross County, it's alright bagging goals against, like, numbers were good when he came last season, like, what is it, 16, 17, 18 goals. But at the end of the day, like, when you're Rangers, your bread and butter's almost, it's no dealt with, because I think the quality's there in the rest of the Scottish League, but you're expected to win every other game
Well,
apart from the
Andy,
Old Firm.
when was the last time that Rangers, when they were in the top division, didn't finish first or second?
No.
Right, so you're giving the other teams the benefit of the doubt, right? But let's be honest. I mean,
We should
be
be
taking care of them.
Yeah.
But we should be taking an eye. Rangers and Celtic will both slip up throughout the season. Sometimes they won't, and they'll have the odd season where they go unbeaten or
That's the
almost
thing, like,
unbeaten.
so it almost leaves any player to make a name for themselves at the club on games like Europe, games like Old Firms, and to me, I just feel let down. I feel with Dessers, I feel I'm constantly building up and then getting let down, and then building up and then getting let down. And
You've all seen my thoughts on Dessers on the reaction video to the Old Firm, and it was that, you know, I've drawn a line under Dessers and I'm finished with him, mate, because it's simply unacceptable. He just wasn't active enough in the game. He never done enough. He wasn't physical
you just
enough.
kind of, as the
And
comment
then
says, you just
into
can't-
the bargain.
you just don't trust him. You don't trust when he's 1-on-1 with the keeper, when he's got a shot, when he's got space to take a shot, regardless of the goals he does score, you never trust him. You never go. It wasn't like mine, Pete Morelos.
Aye.
He gets through and goal, you're like, that's a goal.
And it's interesting as well, because you think of Morelos and you've never met a more door-faced bastard in all your life. But there was something about Morelos and his door-face
He had a
and his
swagger,
aggression.
he had a
and-
confidence.
Exactly.
He had a like a level of conviction about him. Like
Whereas I don't think, you know, if you're Dessers, you clearly don't get Rangers. You don't get the Rangers fans, because you're getting beat 3-0 in an Old Firm, and I see people going like, oh, he's burst his lip and stuff like that. Get on with it. I mean, put in a fucking tackle.
Aye.
With players you want in an Old Firm, mate, is he's burst my lip.
I'm
going
going to clatter him. Aye,
I'm going
aye.
to clatter. I'm going to, you know what I mean? Be cute. Don't go moaning to the fucking ref.
Aye, rolling about.
Because we're in this day and age where nobody can even talk to the ref anymore. It's only the captain that can talk to the ref. Do you know what I mean? Or you get sent to the VAR room for a fucking sin bin, naughty step or something like that. But for Dessers, it's simple. Score goals. But, you know, he's incapable so far in the Old Firm games,
Aye.
ultimately.
Aye, and most of these players can say the same, to be honest. And I think that's
And we've got
what's
another
kinda-
enigma here in Danilo as well, because he's just, you know, keeping the bench warm. We've no fucking
Strange.
idea what's going on with
We've
Danilo.
got Igmane, who was signed for millions and can do apparently interesting things with the ball, which is a quote directly from Clement, who's only just
I
managed
hope one
to
of the
get...
interesting things is
literally-
to put it in the back of the net.
His debut was 3-0 down with 15 minutes to go in an Old Firm game.
In a sold out parkhead
I know.
in front of
Mental.
only Celtic
Bonkers,
fans.
and he couldn't have played against Ross County.
I mean, it's a baptism of fire if there ever was one.
Aye.
And do you know what? I mean, well, that's him. He's a Rangers player now. Do you know what I mean? There's no coming back for that.
No.
There's no we need to build him up. There's no he needs time to
thing
settle
is-
in. You threw him in at Parkhead 3-0 down an Old Firm. He's got to, he's a Rangers player
You're
now.
here, aye.
Do you
You're in
know?
the deep end.
But how can you go for, this shite with Igmani coming in the door and saying, he's not ready to start, he's not quite at this level, he doesn't kick a ball the first couple of games of the season, and then but all of a sudden he's ready to play 15 minutes 3-0 down at the... Do you think that was a bit of a statement Clement's trying to make?
Well,
because it seems to me he's like that. Do you know what I mean? Yous guys are so bad out there, and I don't know what to do. This boy who's no ready or whatever, who had no intentions of playing the day, I'm just got to put him on.
Aye.
And the rest of the bench
it
is
seems,
so bad
it seems
he's
a bit
gone on.
baffling. But to move on, I've got a comment here about Clement. So, to those that think Clement is blameless, Cufflink makes a valid point. Name one player that has improved since he took over. Can you name one? A player that he's improved?
It's hard, mate, because one thing that really concerns me about this team is that sometimes they might fool you into believing that they have improved. I mean, again, you come off a 6-0
It depends
victory
on what
against
light,
Ross
like-
County and you think Matondo played a really good game at the left wing. Desser's getting his goals. Diamandi at times looks as if he's commanding in the midfield. But then you come up against Celtic and again, they look like boys.
I think we've ever so slightly improved in terms of we kind of see what Clement's eventually trying to do. But if you're talking about...
What is that then? You'll
if
need to
you're
explain
talking
it to me and the other 1,000 people out there that have not got a fucking clue.
He wants to get... I'm not agreeing with the way he plays, but he wants to get the ball forward as quick as humanly possible. However, the issue comes...
Do you think that's true? I get what you mean, right? But what... Is that just in the games against the lesser team? Because you think about how many passes there were played between Suter and Proper at the weekend. So that was me going forward quick.
If you're taking the Old Firm at the equation now and talk about just in general, I can see slightly more what Clement is trying to do at the start of this season than I was at the end of last season.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean. But the main issue we've got, and it's been something we've had over the years since Gerrard left, is there's not been a single person that's come into this club, don't know about Gio, but there's not been a single manager that's come into this club that has upgraded the mentality of the squad.
No, definitely no.
In terms of aggression on the park, in terms of not letting your bottle crash, in terms of getting tore in about it, in terms of being 1-0 down and thinking to yourself, right, well, we're going to need to work harder.
And even
the fight's just no been there.
See,
I can't, and there's been no evidence of Clement progression in that way with the squad.
See, the thing is, mate, see if you didn't look at who the manager was and you just watch the team play, and I says to you, who's in charge of this team? Is it Gio? Is it Beale? Or is it Clement? You go, well, I don't know. It could be any of them.
It's been the same.
Because it's really just a carbon copy until they start hitting long balls for time to time.
Gio can get let off because he goes to... But we're talking about the Gio in terms of after the Europa League and we started the new season before he get let go. It's like you couldn't... You probably couldn't tell what team was what, other than the big horseshoe shape that Gio liked to have played.
Aye, but like you say, I mean, you brought in a new manager... he's got some of the players that he wants, obviously no all of them, but we're yet to really see any, clear change in how we want to play, I would say. And when it comes to the game against Celtic, basically, he's sort of just outdone tactically completely. I don't know what happened to his team because
tactically, mentally,
I said they weren't getting the first 10 minutes. I said on the podcast after the game, you're not getting the first 10 minutes. I'm not giving you any compliments or I'm not taking any positives. But we're a bit later on in the week, so hear me out. First 10 minutes, we pressed Celtic high. They did not like it.
No.
So there was something in that. You need to press Celtic high if you want to make them uncomfortable. And to go to Parkhead and press Celtic high, being, massive underdogs, honestly, was a good way to play, in my opinion, a good strategy. Unfortunately, something happens.
But it was that offside goal. As soon as that offside goal went in, and even though it got ruled out, we were not. I don't know what happened, but we weren't
shat
the
our
same
pants.
team. We just the mentality just broke down, completely broke down.
But that's on the players surely, because Clement's clearly set them up to press high, to get in their faces, and
they've
then
shat
something's
the bed.
happened. And they've just ended up
Well,
all over the place
That'll actually take us on to the next
and
comment.
completely out the game.
For Rangers Rabble podcast, they posted on their Twitter account, "Sorry, fuck this rebuild pish. A team can be better than you technically, but that is no excuse for not matching in intensity and hunger. They are fucking miles ahead of us at everything."
I mean, is there really anything else to say?
No.
I mean, the guys completely summed it up, and look how, mate, this channel has been going for a year. This is our second season, and we've been saying for a whole year on this channel, talking about fight, talking about passion. You know, we need the quality, aye, but you know, you're gonna get the quality.
How many
the
times
money
have we
your
seen-
vote can buy you?
How many times in the English FA Cup's a prime example of this, where you just see a team full of superstars like fall to their knees against a team that's lowered in the leagues that
Full of
just
hard workers.
outworked them.
Of course,
in
mate.
terms of fit, just like done every single player. They might not have bullied them in terms of the general game, but they got that goal because, well, they just kept going 90 minutes. Everybody for that one game had an injury on them, and for us, like, let's be honest, it doesn't even matter what opposition it is. You see two completely different halves of football.
Aye.
You see a slow, you see a sluggish, cagey kind of first half or second half, and then, you know, when you come out for the second half or start the first half in other games, you see a complete like switch around. I cannot remember the last time, apart from possibly Ross County, where we just put together two phenomenal halves of football.
And see another thing as well, right? Now, people are going to think this is, you know, wrong, basically. They're going to disagree completely. But when I look at that Rangers team as well, I see a bunch of individuals. I don't look on and go like, you know, Suter and Tav are like, no pals, but you know what I mean? They've got like some sort of connection. And folk maybe say, no, this doesn't matter. It's just about, you know, how good the players are from a quality standpoint. But I don't think it is, man. I mean, I think if you've got like a really good relationship on and off the park with the guys running about you, you're going to fight harder for them.
It's not just
you're not
about...
going to want to get them stuck in and blamed for mistakes. You're going to try and dig them out of holes.
Well,
but this team just looks to blame the person next to them rather than take responsibility first and foremost for themselves on the park and their teammates.
You look at amazing, I can't believe I'm even comparing this, but you look at the amazing partnerships like in different areas of the park over the years, like your Xavi and Iniesta partnership, like that kind of stuff. They know exactly how the partner on the park plays.
And they know them inside out.
They know exactly where they've to be in relation to where the partner's playing. Anywhere in the park, you can say it for any position, and that to me, we've never really had anywhere in the park that proper like left hand side, for example, or the right hand side, where you look and go, we've got a really strong that area of the pitch. You just
like
don't
these
see
two
it.
link up. You know, they constantly know where each other are. Yeah. I mean, we were dealt a blow again in the Old Firm by Celtic doing what they've done to us in a number of Old Firms. And do you know why? Because they know where their teammates are going to be in the park. They know if this person gets the ball, we're going to press Rangers. Do you know what I mean?
And let's be honest, Celtic were more selective than usual with the way they press, I think, because there was a lot of times where I'm like, they're kind of sitting off us a bit.
They were.
And you think, oh, they are sitting off us, and then all of a sudden, like, Suter will take a bad touch, man. They're right up the park straight away. And to be honest, like, with us, the annoying thing about us is we either go out and we're either a pressing team or we're a sitting back team. There doesn't seem to be any in between, and it's annoying because certain games require that kind of flexibility, that fit ahead in certain players to. I mean, how many times do you see like Dessers going a solo press and turning around and going
I
like,
know, man. It's
a
joke, man.
It's bonkers. And to be honest, like in that old firm, like no player was blameless. For me, nobody get pass marks. Even Barron, even Butland. I think they get pass marks. And even talking about Butland, Ibert's Channel podcast. Put up a picture of the Kyogo goal, says it gets worse every time you see it. No keeper should be beaten with a shot into the bottom corner from there unless it's been hit at 87 mile an hour into the postage stamp by the hammer. For me, like, I mean, with how much praise have we given Butland, like, and rightfully so, about his performances, like, since we've had him. And to me, like, there's kind of red flags started to creep in, like kind of pre-season, start of the season, where you think he feels like he's a wee bit off his game here.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, like no keeper. I've never played in goals. Like you've
look. Butland was a hero last year when he came in. Do you know what I mean? He was one guy that just couldn't put a foot wrong in the fans' eyes. And unfortunately, like you say, there's been a few cracks shown in Butland's game. But what I do want to say is, you know, every keeper will be caught out of position at one point or another throughout a season. For Butland, it happens in the worst game possible. He's caught majorly out of position in an Old Firm game. Kyogo passes it in the bottom corner. But do you know the worst point about all of that? The fact that he comes out the next day, says he's pleased with his performance. Now, he did make actually a good stop when Celtic cross the ball in, it comes off proper, it's going into the bottom corner, he makes a cracking save. But this is what these players don't get. This is what, you know, even the Rangers media team or whoever conducted the interview or who let Butland conduct the interview for it to be a good idea for him to come out and say after a 3-0 defeat, I'm actually pleased with my performance. How about shut the fuck up? Just go an international break. Shut up. If MD for that team's coming out, they should come out and go, simply, it wasn't good enough. We need to do better. We will do better, or at least we'll try to do better. And they need to look as if they're actually trying to do better. Because we were beating goals, but we were also beating desire and hunger. Ultimately, I mean, Celtic are up 3-0 and they're chasing the ball more than we are 2-0, 3-0 down.
I know. And the thing is as well, like a few of the comments, you were talking about red flags, like a few of the comments coming for... Now, I'll say right now, I am no way, shape or form wanting Clement to leave Rangers. I think getting stuck in that cycle again is just a disaster.
That's not the
solution. You need to look higher than that.
I don't think... It might come the time where he needs to go, but I don't think that time's right now.
We just can't do it.
No, we can't afford to do it, to be honest.
But he came out and he referenced the Ross County win before like to almost justify like what happened and say, oh, well, last week we had, I think he said it was like a record result. And I'm like,
our best victory in like 4 years or something. I'm sure.
I'm sorry, like it's Ross County. Like they disrespect against Ross County, but let's be honest, a full top form Rangers team should be beating Ross County like by at least 3 goals each game. And there's the last thing any fan wants to hear
as if it's some sort of consolation. Do you know what I mean?
As if the fans are going to go, you're right, you know what?
But that's what makes me think that, you know, even our manager doesn't understand what this fixture means. Now, look, I could be completely wrong, and look, and Clement's come out and said that, and he does know what the fixture means, but when you're saying stuff like that, what that says to the fans is, you really do not know what this rivalry is all about. You really do not know what this league is all about, because these games make or break seasons. These games are everything in Scottish football. They are all. Listen, they're all we've got.
The Old Firm could be played in a friendly. See if you get beaten it, you go for hero to zero.
Well, actually, the thing about the Old Firm is they couldn't even arrange a friendly. Mind they were trying, but that's that's how bitter the rivalry is.
Aye.
So
You don't get a
this is
friendly.
what the players need to understand. This is what the manager needs to understand. And I think it comes down to you've not got the right characters in the team. You've not got the right characters in and around the in and around Ibrox, in and around the training area, clearly. But you certainly don't have the right characters on the pitch. And by God, these players have so much making up to do because
100%.
what 4 games into the season or something like
Let's
that.
be honest,
and they fell
imagine-
majorly at the first big hurdle in a disastrous fashion.
Imagine that performance at Ibrox at New Year.
But do you know what? I don't expect anything more than exactly what we got at Parkhead. I think Ibrox will perhaps even make it worse because the players will crumble even more under the pressure of their home support than the away fans.
But the thing is as well, like, as you say, if anything, we're stuck with the players we've got, like, until at least January, and I can't see much business being done with in terms of, because how much financial damage has been done the previous years. But it's just, I can't really see anything different at the same time. There's never been a time like this where I think players have got so much a point to prove for the fans. Like, you've got so much trust to build back between now and that next Old Firm, because whatever happens between, I mean, we've got Europe, but whatever happens between now and the next Old Firm needs to be almost not perfect, but almost perfect. Like, you need to win as many games as humanly possible, convincing score lines. Listen, we could get absolutely tan Dundee United at 6-0 again. It's not going to fix everything. It's not going to get near to fixing everything.
And see, the thing is, picking up on what you just says there in terms of the players have got a point to prove, that is certain, right? My concern is that these players never look like they've got a fucking point to prove. They're all sort of sauntering about the park, just being shite and sort of accepting of their mediocrity. And that's one thing Rangers fans simply will not stand for.
That's how you get folk outside the stadium going after that.
100%. I mean, that's what it's came to. And ultimately, you're only going to see more of this if we don't see some sort of radical transformation in the quality, the red flags that you're talking about with people coming out and talking fucking nonsense, if I should put it so politely, and a complete attitude shift in this team. It's needed quickly. So, I mean, we know what's needed, but I really don't. I'm not confident that it's going to happen. And that's the biggest problem. I mean, when you sort of feel dejected as a Rangers fan, normally I think they could turn it around, they could do something, but fuck me, man. But this is the first time I've wrote off the season so early.
It's annoying as well, because I've seen folks say similar things, like the Rangers podcast. It's brutal having a Rangers podcast, not only because you need to deal with the comments and stuff like that, but it's the fact that you need to watch every single game week in, week out.
You can't
need to watch the full 90 minutes. You can't sit on your phone. You can't go to the game and go for a piss break and shit like that.
You need to relive it
you need
twice,
to be sitting
3
there
times a week
on your seat watching that park. It's going to be, I mean, unless things somehow dramatically change, which I don't think you can get a dramatic mentality change unless you bring the players into and that they've got the the fit behind about them and install that in the squad, like a true proper leader. So if you've enjoyed the video, then make sure you like and subscribe. Let us know what you thought about our opinions. Let us know what you thought about some of the comments that we showed you there. Remember, the BlueSea channel memberships are available. There's a wee join button up there if you're on your computer, or there's a link in the comments if you're on any other device. That's down there next to our socials. If you can go over there, give us a follow, that'd be much appreciated. And we'll see you next time.